show us your tips. Daggy and Beaver back for a Saturday preview. Queensland, well, one of Queensland's biggest days of racing. Stradbroke Day coming up this weekend, Beaver. We've got a pretty good card at Hillside to look at as well. How's life treating you?
Very good. Thank you, Adrian. I'm well and looking forward to doing another show.
Excellent. What's that grin for?
Nothing.
Yeah, all right.
Here to enjoy ourselves.
All right, yeah. It's been a fun night watching
I'm trying to cheer you up
Yeah.
after a Tigers performance and a half.
Just geeks. What do you say about them? Anyway,
Yeah, I don't want to upset you anymore.
We've got racing. The smoke's just stopped it coming out of my ears. Largely because I've got headphones on. But anyway, we'll talk about some racing. Hey, we've got the Stratty to look at tomorrow. We're at Eagle Farm. Weather's good, track's good. Rails in the 4 metre mark. I think you're probably running line by the end of the day. Clear air, so typical Eagle Farm. Not a bad meeting. What do you make of what we've got here?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good meeting. Plenty to pick from. I think there's some good value around and a number of chances across the card.
We'll kick off with the first, which is a listed race for the 2-year-olds, the Oxlade Stakes, 1,300 metres, and I'll let you take the first kick.
Thank you, mate. I've narrowed it down to 2 here in the first tier of the farm. The one I put on top is the unbeaten Lee's Trained Infancy.
Mm-hmm.
Like its form to date, a couple of nice runs around the Gold Coast Ipswich tracks, but it's one with a bit in hand, I think, and being well fancied in those. Around the $8 to $10 mark, I think it can run a really bold race, drawn well. Main danger, the number 9 from the inside gate, Queen of Dragons. I think it comes through some really good form lines. First up was behind Zaya, which was a pretty good run, and then had some nice form back in Sydney. Trialled well prior to that first up effort. I think it can run well as well.
Beautiful. I think Infancy's a live chance. I think I've liked both what it's done in an albeit weaker grade both times. I've ended up coming back to this Melbourne horse here, Isthmus. We liked it going into that Flemington race. It was a bit green. It took a while to get going up the straight there. It's come up to Queensland, trialled like a bomb. I like Mickey D appearing on this program. I've found him a few times throughout the card. And the each way price, I'm going to probably start the day with it. I think a bounding's the obvious, comes through the obvious form lines there. And you've mentioned Infancy, but has done nothing wrong, been impressive twice. Good little race to start the day. We've got the mile Gunsynd Classic, race 2, and a good betting chance up next. I think Yellow Brick picks himself here, assuming he doesn't get a start later on. Did everything right. He's done everything right a lot this career, but just ran into a pretty good one last time out. He gets a great run here. This is a weaker race than what he met. Around the dollar, what are we about? $1.65, $1.70. Anything better than that, I think, is good shopping, and I think it wins. Only possible danger to me is the dry tracker Redina. I like that it's now been able to take up a position on pace and probably comes here as a live chance.
Yeah, it is the only danger, but Yellow Brick, I think it's value, to be honest. It probably should have won last start, to be brutally honest. The other horse won well, but it was locked in, didn't get out too late, and was hitting the line better than anybody else. The 1600, I think, suits, and the only thing that could probably beat here is some kind of muddling pace and losing a leg. So I think,
what it has in its advantage is that it can lead if it has to as well. So even a muddling pace shouldn't be too much of an issue. The third, more black type, listed Wayne Wilson Plate here, where we get over the mile, where we get a lot of these old whackers coming here, and the fresh blood looks really good to me. I think there's 2 hopes again. I'm struggling to split them. I'll look for your insight a bit here, but I think Antino and Moonamek, as the market suggests, are the 2. Got to like what Moonamek did last time out, to wrap that field up, ran away from them. Inside gate now becomes a little bit of a trickier task, but good man for the job there, Mark Zara. So slight leaning if it gets a lead here to Antino. Being very good every time, is up in grade, but down in weight. Jimmy Ormond's no problem. And as I've said, there's not a lot of chases here. Skyman was the finisher in the lead up. Perhaps this has been a target all along. Nash is stuck on the 7-day backup next best. What do you reckon?
Yeah, there's only two clear chances here. The rest of them are, as you say, just whacking away. They're past their best, and it is only a small field. I think you're right. Antino is going to get the lead. I just don't know how much pressure's here and how much pace is on. If it can get some easy sectionals, Munamek is going to find it hard to run down. But I am going to go Munamek. It is because it's a horse I follow, and I do think it's a pretty good horse. And the other things on the way up, I am concerned about how the race might be run. But if it does get a sufficient enough pace and some clear air, I think it will be too strong at the end. But good race. I'll be keen to see how this plays out.
Beautiful. As you mentioned, I think the only pacing race is Antino and Big Boy Roy, so it looks pretty cosy up there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Next is one of the features, a 3,200 metre Brisbane Cup, a Group 2 here. We said Teofilo Star might just lead and run away last week. It did. It was $6 down there in a benchmark 78. Now comes to a Group 2 and his favourite. I was a bit shocked by that. Is that the way you're looking now, or is there other chances here?
Well, there's some other chances, no doubt, but geez, there's going to be a few going backwards towards the end of this. There's some that you just can't get excited about. And for that reason, you look at Tefillo Star and you go, well, it is going to jump in front. It is going to lead. It's probably going to get there pretty comfortably, and it will run the distance. So there's a lot of things in its favour, and it's well weighted. So looking at that, it's going to be super hard to beat. I think Al Abar was a good run last start, and he's been consistent this time in. It does come from Sydney form, so that always generally transfers pretty good into races like this. Looked like it would keep whacking away and get the 3,200, so that'd be the main danger. And I thought Warning ran a nice race last start and finished off probably the best in that race along the fence. If it gets back to its best, it could run a race, but that's the way I've seen it.
I have gone with Alabar on top. You've covered it off. I don't think 3,200's an issue. I think it's had the Queensland prep here. We know it goes well up north, coming off the strong Sydney win and Michael D. All look good to me. Teofilo Star I thought had to be a bet. I think it almost in some ways picked itself. I was just shocked it was so short. I had several looks at Nerve Not Verve, and Selena was the next best. Selena, this would have been its one goal, since that race a few years ago. And Nerve Not Verve, we know, does its best probably out to this, probably wants it wet, so didn't quite find it as well as I would have. The fifth is the Maker's Mark Handicap, where we over 1,200 metres, where I'm going to stick with blue colours here. I'm forgiving Bacchanalia last week. Pulled up lame and had a few recovery issues as well. Now gets inside gate. It's going to just find a lovely spot straight on the back of a bit of pace here. There's quite a bit of pace up front, actually, that'll probably cross here. And with even luck, I think around the $8 mark, I think can give you a great sight here. The big goodbye, we'll be honest, in front. It was pretty good last time out, just nabbed late there. Has some work to do from the gate. The other two outside the market that I'm sort of a little bit spooked by, Vespertine and Blondeau, I think they can both run better than their price suggests. Good race, but that's why I'm going to look at it. Fairly keen if we get the best Bacchanalia. It's probably the best horse at this stage.
Yeah, interesting summary there, Daggy, because I've kind of got a very similar view to you. I've gone for Bacchanalia as well. I liked it around nearly the double figure odds here. You can put a line through. Last start, as you said, pulled up lane, and prior to that, ran a really good race, less than half a length behind. Think about it.
Yep.
That's good form going into a race like this. Gate 2, when a lot of the main chances are not drawn all that well and don't suit where they are in running. Horses like Manhood, drawn off the tracks, Big Goodbye is going to have to be used up. So Bacchanalia could get the race. And I did have a bit of a liking for Vespertine, resuming around the $12, $13 mark. I think he can run a big race, but this is one of the hardest races on the card. There's 1,000 chances here.
Yeah. I thought you might. You do love some Graham Begg. You're giving his next runner a chance in the Q22, which is up next, 1.2 mil, 2,200 metres, and we get the lead up through the Zaki race as well as without the fight race. But Nonconformist pops up here. Any chance, and who are you picking if not?
Yeah, not overly keen. Not one of the chances I would be looking at. Oh, I really like the favourite Without a Fight. Um, we were all over it last start, and the way it exploded through uh, last start, that was super impressive. This looks like a horse on the way up, and I think this may be a horse that is looking towards the Melbourne Cup and might be a live chance if it runs well in this.
Yeah, you have to like what it did. It won that race in about 5 strides last time. Tucked
Yeah,
back the inside. It was very impressive. Class horse, I think, has upside. And this time probably gets some more clear air, just gets to the outside, and it's going to be very hard to beat. I've gone the same way. I've treated Duis as the main danger here. I know if you go through its record, it doesn't have a great second up record, but a lot of that was prep runs for longer stuff. A lot of it was 1400 and 600 metre runs. Has now had a few trials into that first up run. It was pretty good, back the inside, straight to 2200 metres, where it won the Oaks here. I think runs really well here from the gate. Gets a cozy run, and I'll probably save on it. I had a few looks at the 3-year-old Fame because I'm just sick of the rest of these, to be quite frank. But as a result, that international is going to be very hard to beat. All that being said,
it is. And if you're looking at that, I think Luncey's at 20-1 for the Quinella. I don't think that's without a chance.
well, Luncey's put that race away and just, if anything, maybe hit the front a little too soon.
A bit too early.
Yeah,
That's right.
and gets Nash now, and they can run the Cornell here. You're right, 100%. I was with you, Marion and Hueta, but yeah, we'll move on. In that Zaki race, I mean, but I've just decided that I'm going to stick with the international here. And you've made a good case for the Cornella horse. The mile, Group 1, for the 2-year-olds, the JJ Atkins Stakes. It's generally a Waller affair, and again, he's got all the keys here. For me, I've found a couple of them. I really like this Congregation. The more I've thought about this, I think it was a couple $1 million horse, but both its runs have still been a little bit green. Looks big, strong horse, a nice mover. I think it's perfect for the mile. Gets a nice run here, and around $13. I will start with that, and I'm going to also back Chrysor here. Started favourite in that late. It was pretty well backed. It's now $16 with Nash. It copped a big whack trying to get out there. If you go back and watch that race, by the time it balanced up, it actually was quite good through the line. Even like it probably wins that lead up and is well in the market here. So I'm going to take $16. I'm fairly confident playing both. I think we get a result out of at least one of them. And given that Tannhauser's on the drift, I've just noticed now, but coming up from that other Sydney stuff, I didn't think it was that strong to be ready to go and stamp at favourite. So looking to the other Waller runners, there's other bits and pieces here. Azula runs well, and Miracle of Love as well, but that's the way I've seen it. What have you made of it?
Yeah, another good race here, another open one with plenty of chances here. You could pick 10 different horses here, but Twinhauser is the one I'm going. I had a bit of a watch on it last start when it won, and I thought, oh, that was a good win. Picked them up and put them away pretty easy there. Again, this is probably better company, you're right, but really like the way it did hit the line. And as you alluded to, Waller has a bit of a hold on this. And if you go back, it does have some listed form back at Randwick, where it was behind Tom Kitten, which was a nice run. I think it's improved since then. We saw that last start. It's going to be hard to beat. And one of the main dangers, Make a Call. I know it's had a few starts and hasn't won yet, but it probably should have went pretty close last start. It was really the horse that was unlucky. And if you go back, has some form in Group 1 and Group 2, Group 3 type races where it's ran really well and only just been off the mark. This could be the day it runs well, and I think the wide draw is okay.
Beautiful. The feature is the Stradbroke Handicap 1400 metre Group 1 race, and I'm going to give you first crack at it.
It's a beauty, isn't it? I've got it down to 2. You can't go past Think About It as your on top pick. Just keeps getting better and better with every run. It's won its 8 out of 9, and the way it won last start was excellent. Had to be used up a little bit, but got in there, sat up closer to the pace than normal, and showed how versatile it was, and was hitting the line hard. That would have topped it off for this, being its main target, 1400 suits. And gate 12, I don't think's too bad. I think it can probably find a spot in the running line. Main danger, clearly Cardinal Gem at $12. I will not be letting that get under my guard. It was 4 wide the whole way in that sprint, and was still hitting the line harder than any other horse. Shouldn't be stuck that wide in this. If there's any chink in the armour of think about it, I think Cardinal Gem will be the one finding it.
I knew you were going exactly there with both those horses, and I'm not really going to argue with you. It was you've summed it up pretty well.
We've done enough of these shows to know what each other's going to tip by now, right?
Yeah, definitely. Big handicaps, you want outside gates. So both those gates look pretty good to me. I've got to think about on top in a world where we're dearth of top quality sprinters, really. Where the best sprinters are all 8 and 9 years old these days. Think about it, can fill this gap. I think it can win this and win this well, to be honest. If I'm looking for dangers, you've covered Cardinal Gem. I'm forgiving Villana as well, 3 wide the whole way. Last time, I couldn't believe that opened somewhere at 50s apparently, but I missed that. It's now 20s. And Aft Cabin was another nice warm-up, going through the gears late there, chasing Giga Kick, trial since, and back up with the Swoopers. Gate is in the game. I'll cover off the other bits and pieces when we get to the quaddie there, but fantastic race. For the record, taking on Hawaii 5-0, I have an opinion of the horse. I don't have an opinion of Gate 3 with the jockey in a race like this. Otherwise, would be giving it a higher berth.
It's weighted pretty well, about 49.5.
Definitely, which is why Rachel King's riding. But I can see it being 3 back, just in a world of trouble. Unfortunately, it'll probably win now. I've opened your mouth. But anyway, we've got the Dane Ripper to talk about. 1,300 metres wraps us up for the girls. And I was drawn to She's a Belter here. I've always had a bit of an opinion of the horse. I might be a run early. Nice, decent, just a quiet trial at Round Week. Nice trial at Gosford. Comes up here. This might be the setup for the Group 1 in a couple of weeks. The whatever it is now, Tiara or Roses, whatever they call it there. That might be its ultimate goal, but I think it finds a nice race here and can run well from Ekaterina if it gets a start and a jockey. Flashing home, beaten by the gate last time. I think's in this. I didn't necessarily like Roots' trial. I know we sort of talked about it last week. Didn't run there. Had a trial instead last week, and it was a bit plain to me. And revolutionary misses in the game if Mark Zara's next best. I think they're the 3 main chances. What have you thought of it?
Yeah, I've put Revolutionary Miss on top. I really liked the form lines for it. I thought it was a nice quiet trial. Wasn't too bad at Gosford and was a good one at Randwick. But if you go back to its form, Group 2, before it went out, ran second behind Cyrilio Miss. Was an excellent run, and the start before that won the Group 2 at Flemington. Outstanding. I think it can run really well here if it's tuned up enough, and I really like the price, and can't go past Comrade Rosa. Third up will have improved, and around the $14. I think both of those are not a bad way to play the last.
Perfect. We've got to look at the Eagle Farm Quaddie on Stradbroke Day. I'm going to kick off in the first leg with 1 Hueta, 2 Numerian, 3 Without a Fight, 12 Dues. Second leg, 1 Safrado, 2 Chrysor, 5 Congregation, 6 Tannhauser, 10 Solidify, 14 Azula, 17 Miracle of Love. Third leg, 3 Villana, 9 Think About It, 10 Cardinal Gem, 12 Aft Cabin. If you're going wider, the 2 fillies go in. 13 Royal Merchant, 14 Ruthless Dame. And then we'll come home with 3 She's a Belter, 6 Revolutionary Miss, 14 Comrade Rosa, 17 Ekaterina. Opal Ridge will pop up in one of these races if you want to throw in a quaddie. I'm not going to hold it against you. Have you got a best in value for Stradbroke Day?
I do, without a doubt. My best bet comes up in race 6, number 3, Without a Fight. And my value bet's coming up in race 9, number 6, Revolutionary Miss.
My best bet is race 2, number 1, Yellow Brick. Perhaps a cop out to throw that in there at $1.60, but I don't care. I think if you're looking away from that, the few at value there, race 7, number 5, Congregation runs well, and race sort of with you, race 9, both She's a Belt and Rev Miss can run well there as well. Excellent for progretracing.com.au. Of course, check them out for their articles, tips, news going on all the time. Beaver threw up an article today. I haven't had a look at any results yet. Any luck today? Should I not have mentioned
Bit
it?
mixed, I think, today.
Okay.
Not one of the better days, but bit mixed.
That's right. We head to Hillside, where hopefully you do have one of your better days, where soft track we're probably going to get, or a winter dead, rail 5 metres. The weather looks all right. Maybe a bit of mist around tomorrow from what I understand. Standard Hillside down there. We kick off with the 1,000 metres and the babies here. Who do you like in the first?
Yeah, pretty hard race here. The 2 in the market are run race ones, so that makes it tricky. Got to be hard to beat, but I thought at $10 Mafia could run well. I thought it was a good run. First up, won pretty comfortably there at Wyong and pretty much controlled the race. Natural improvement. Snowden's taken it now down south. I think he can run well.
This is a good race to start the day. I'm around at $10 again. I'm going to play another one here, Altruist, who we sort of had an opinion of some nice work going into the Blue Diamond preview. I think the work this time in's trials have been good, and from the inside gate, hopefully can take up a spot for Blake Shin and produce that turn of foot that it's shown in some of its work there. His first starters all have some ability, though. I think Miss Gabbiano, Listen to Zoo, both in the game, as is Marching and Mafia, who will ride the pace. So we'll learn a lot more afterwards, but around the double figures, I'll have a stab at Altruist. The fillies are up next, 1,300 metre benchmark 78, where this is essentially a benchmark 68 bar the top weight, and that's the way I've gone. Jeannie Jerome's off 2 nice strong wins. They were both pretty good, strong through the line, and it meets probably a weaker field than a lot of what it has beaten already, but what the fresh blood hasn't impressed me too much. So it's my top pick here around the $8 mark, just has to get the outside for Laura Lafferty, and might be a good day for Pat Payne. There may be plenty of upside here for Extra 2, who did ride the pace and was a nice enough win. I'm not sold on this jockey yet, as we'll get to a bit later. Wiramu Pin. I'd like to see him actually ride a winner before I really get stuck into him, but might have some upside here on an armchair ride. What are your thoughts?
I thought your analysis there was pretty good. I've got Extra 2 on top. I'm pretty keen it can run well. I think it's drawn well. Liked the first up win, won comfortably. I think it's got plenty of upside. But you're right, I'm not sold on the jockey just yet either. Just watched a couple of ones and I was pretty critical of one where he jumped out, kind of flew out, and then he sort of pulled the horse up and kind of sat wide at 4 or 5 wide. And I'm just trying to think of which one it was. All red. Something Mama, Great Mama.
Yes, yeah.
Last week.
Yep.
And I watched that and it jumped out, flew out, and then he kind of pulled it back and sat and then gave it no chance. I was wondering what the hell that ride was. I was pretty critical of that one. So want to see what it can do, what he can do. But yeah, I've got Extra 2 on top here. I think it can run well and it might be just a hold on.
Beautiful. No, that's cool. And we have the same problem a bit later with another favourite. Anyway, 2,500 metres, benchmark 78 is up next. This Jacane's flying. Are you sticking solid with you, man?
Yeah, I am. I think this time of the year is the way to go. When they start flying like this, they're pretty hard to beat. And when they're winning so convincingly, should be able to just cross up over from the 13 gate and take up a good spot, either in the lead or pretty close to the lead. And again, this is a lot of whackers here that you can just rule out the bottom, probably 10 horses. There's no chance. Clear on top.
Mm-hmm. Agree on top for me. I won't dwell on that one. I will give Storm King a berth again. That was a complete nothing happening affair last time. Now gets Blake Shin and probably the lead. Can improve. and as can Never Again getting the senior jock. I think on the quick backup might be a couple for your trifectas there. The fourth is Benchmark 70 over the mile. I don't think this is a strong race either for the girls. And I'm fairly keen on Arctica here. I thought the resumption was pretty good. Crossed the line next to Fortunate Kiss and another decent mare whose name just escapes me. Good and Proper. And that's a length off Party for One. We've seen that form since Hold Up. This is from Gate 7 gets a good run, and this is a weaker race. I don't think there's much else here. Fairly keen. It's one of the better bets on the card. If I'm going to point out a one over the odds here, perhaps let's say Grace, who went out a winner and came back a winner, and might have a little bit of upside there now it's found some form. What do you think of this?
Yeah, same as you. I thought Arctica was pretty good first up, and this is a weaker fare. I kind of went looking for something else, and then I come back and went $4.50, $5. I think that's probably a fairly good price. I kind of saw it at the top of the market and went, I'm looking for something else, and then came back and went, oh, looked at the form, went price, and I went, oh, this isn't as bad as what it looks, given the form lines. I think it can run really well. Its second up is 2 from 2, which I also liked. Handles good and soft conditions, so it was clear on top for me because I think the rest of them are pretty weak lot.
Awesome. The fifth is a Benchmark 100 sprint over the 1,000, where, and General Bow's just come out, I've noticed, but I've just gone completely away from the lead up and I found the fresh horse here, Dance to Dubai. Jumps on the bunny, Carleen Heffel's flying. I can see why the market's found it on top for me.
Yeah, I could only, I come down with 2 and I had that as one, the fresh horse, 51, Moody, gate 4, looks to go well. Has good first up form as well, placed 5 out of the 6 first up runs, so you know it's going to run well. Thought the main danger was maybe Esther La Rocca, but this is again another sort of weak affair.
The quaddie kicks off, and this is going to be a fun quaddie for you to get stuck into, Beaver. The mile Benchmark 78 is the first leg. A couple of lightly raced ones with some upside in it. Have you found them?
Yeah, I think I have. I've got the number 19, Mutamani on top from the Wallace stable. I think this might have be packed with plenty of potential, this one. Won its only race in France and then comes here. Thought it was pretty good. The way it finished him off at Sandown, it got well back, but hit the line like a good horse, gets the extra 200 here. I think the gate's fine, 15. There might be a couple of scratchings, but it can pull to the middle of the track and look out. I think we might see a decent horse.
Yeah, undeniable upside for it. As you said, like that first win. And the other one in the market, similar, our Redunte. My biggest concern is there's not a heap of pace up front, so just where they get to and how they get into the race may be a concern. So I will also have something on Pitch and None who we know can take up an on-pace role. I liked its return win. I thought its trials leading into it were good. It went out a winner. Another one that's went out a winner, come back a winner, and it's $16. I'll have an each-way play on it, but I think Mutamani, as they call it, may well be a very nice horse. I'll also have something at, your dollar each way on Cooled when it gets out to hundreds on the exchange. Just now gets a senior jockey. The seventh is a open handicap over the mile for the 3-year-olds. Where I'm done with Elking Road after it won, so I can't go back there. So if you go back and watch Belfield's last run, never got going to late, stuck back to the inside. When it did, it was just picking off that field really nicely. I was pretty impressed by the way it got through the line. I like Gate 7. I like that it's $13. And I think it's going to run a nice race here. From Golden Path, 1 start, 1 win for the Price Kent team and straight to town. That's always scary. And hard to cross for Paddy Payne. I like that I didn't mind its resumption. I like he's been proactive, sent it back to the trial on Monday. Straight from that trial to town, and at $18 from the inside gates. Might be another one to consider for your quadrella, Beaver.
Thought I might have had one on you here and found you one, and you found it for me. Bugger. Belt Hill.
Wow.
I thought the same as you. Won well first up, and then that was as favourite, and then come to Flemington and Bron King. That was a good win last start, but it was well back and was picking him off nicely in that without a lot of clear air. Again, the step up here looks good. I think the gate's good, and I think it can run super well. So I like the pick. Good find. But I did think Elkington Road could run another nice race. I like the win last start. Gets the 3 kilo claim here, but jockey not sure. But prior to that, had some good form behind the likes of Dashing. So going well enough. But Belt Hill for me.
Good stuff. I'm impressed, Beaver. Well done. That's just got to win now. The 8th is a benchmark 80. What can go wrong? 1,300 metres, benchmark 84 is next, where we get our boy Wirramoo on top of the favourite again. Are you giving him a chance here?
I am giving it a chance here. I thought it was a good run last start, and I think third up here is sort of right cherry ripe to run well. If it doesn't win this, it would be for the sack file for me, because this is a very winnable race. It's always been in the market in a number of these races, and kind of let us down a little bit. So look, I've got it on top. I want to see it winning, otherwise it'll never get me again. So I think it'll run well. I think you can't rule out Sandy Prince. That was a pretty good run last start. It had to do a little bit of work as well.
And got completely pestered the whole time.
It got pestered the whole time, and that was quite a tough run. So I think it can run really well. Drops a kilo on that, so I think the 850 mark's good. I'd be saving on it.
I agree with you. With what you said about Sandy Prince, you have to forgive that, and I have. I think it's a live chance. I'm just going to take him on because of the jockey. Pacific Ruby on top for me. It's done some nice stuff each time it's been to the races, and it's put in a couple of nice trials in preparation for this. Comes here around the $5 mark on top from Sandy Prince. He's obviously terrified of, but yeah, I'll just take him on. And I had to drag myself away from Sig Positano here. I kept sort of flickering back to him, but let's see him win one first, hey? We finished the day with a 1,800 metre handicap, which isn't a bad little race, actually, but I've made a decision here, for better or worse, to go against the Normandy Bridge lead-up. It was quite soft through the line and won that race well, but I've sort of decided to take that race on. I don't think it was that strong and fair. It's left me with a couple. Alverdun is going pretty well, gets out to 1,800 metres, gets a claim for Luke Campbell, who we know can ride some winners, at least in Perth. And you can tie the form into some of the rest of the field through Keats, where it ran quite well behind. I think gives you a sight. Daytona Bay beat Altivo last time. That's got to count here with Carleen Heffel. Altivo would probably be favourite in this field. And Macram's the best horse. It gassed out quite early in a straight first up. Maybe one more run, but with Giant McNeil jumping on, I had it next best. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, interesting race, this one. I've gone for Alverdun as well.
What is happening?
I think it was a pretty good run last start. It was only a couple of lengths off Gunstock, who come out and run a really nice race after that as well. And prior to that, it did beat Daytona Bay by 3 lengths. So I know you tied the Daytona Bay form through its last effort. So that was a pretty good run as well. It does drop about 5 kilos on that start, Daytona Bay too, from its last start, which is a good line here. So this is a really good race to finish the day. I think the top 4 in the market hold the key, and one of those will be winning. But Alverdun on top, Daytona Bay, Deep Strike was a good run as well, and gets 51 kilos. So again, to pace will tell a lot. Good race to finish the day.
Give us your, it's a tough quaddie, but throw it out there for us for progretracing.com.au, your Melbourne quaddie.
Yeah, well, I'll give you my Melbourne quaddie. First leg, race 6. I've got number 19, Mudamani, and number 11, Naboo Star, and 16, Pitchanan. So I've gone a little bit wide there, just if the fave doesn't win. In the second leg, I've gone number 1, Elkington Road, number 4, Belt Hill, number 10, Golden Path, and number 11, Hellfire. In the third leg, I've gone number 2, He's Our Bonneville, number 7, Do Your Punk, number 8, Sandy Prince, and number 12, Pacific Ruby. And to finish the day, I've gone number 5, Normandy Bridge, number 9, Daytona Bay, number 10, Deep Strike, number 13, Alvadan, and number 3, Cherry Tortoni.
Excellent. For progrobracing.com.au, you're best in value now.
Yes, my best bet comes up in race 6, number 19, Mudamani. And my value bet comes up in race 7, number 4, Belt Hill.
Race 7, number 4, Belt Hill. My value on the card, race 4, number 2, Arctica, I think is my best bet in the mares race. We've got, have you had a look at Rose Hill? That is another deep program at Rose Hill. Have you had a chance to get through any of it?
I've had a quick squeeze. I think the favourite will win the first, Osmosis. Bit short, but will be winning. My value comes up in race 4, number 9, Union Army. It's about $8. It was extremely unlucky last start. It was climbing all over the back of him. I think that'll run a really good race. Don't miss that one. And later in the day, I'm going to stick with race 7, number 9, Democracy Manifest. Got a bit out of its ground on its last chance. And I think race 8, number 5, Conscript. I think it can run well again.
Just one for me. Race 10, number 10, Crafty Eagle wins again too, I think. Anything else around Australia?
That's it for me, mate.
Morfettville, race 6, number 2, another Ponzi. Can run, well, should win that one. And one more chance, race 7, number 1, Golden Crusader heading to Adelaide, dropping class there. Couple in Belmont if you want to get out. Race 1, number 1, Hanchy, and race 8, number 8, category 3. There we go. We've got all the states covered. We will.
Look at you go.
Yeah, I know. Almost some spare time on my hands. Thank you, Beaver. I'm going to not watch the Tigers replay and get ready for Saturday. Long weekend racing. I may even try and punch out a preview. Is there even long weekend racing on Monday? Actually, let me just.
We'll work something out, mate.
All our planning happens on air here. We've got Warwick Farm Mornington Monday. So we'll get there'll be an article or a show for that. Good punting, guys. We will talk soon.